Before I start, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I'd love to hear what you think in the comments after this one. Let's dive in. I still remember the exact moment my world tilted. It wasn't a fight or a text or even a drunken confession. It was him, standing in my driveway, calm as if he'd rehearsed the line 1,000 times. "Your wife is leaving with me." I just nodded. That's all I could do, because in that instant, I realized I had already known. Maybe not consciously, but something inside me had been whispering the truth for weeks. The missed calls I let slide, the late nights she said were work, the faint smell of someone else on her scarf. I'd pushed them aside, convincing myself it was paranoia. I wasn't ready to believe it. It had started subtly. A phone left face down on the counter. A sudden, inexplicable laugh at something I didn't see. A little distance in the way she touched me, as if I were a stranger she tolerated rather than loved. I kept asking myself, am I imagining this? Am I being ridiculous? I even found myself apologizing for little things, for my own insecurities, hoping to smooth over what I couldn't name. Then came the morning I found the first solid proof. I had woken up early, before her, craving the quiet. That's when I noticed her phone buzzing in the bedroom. Something I'd never normally snoop on, but a premonition had clawed at me. One glance, and my heart sank into a pit of molten anger and disbelief. Texts, hundreds of them, full of jokes, plans, and little intimate secrets that weren't mine to know, and all signed off with his name. I didn't yell. I didn't break things. I sat there, reading every word, letting the betrayal wash over me in slow, cruel waves. Each message was a dagger twisting into memories I thought were shared. The dinners, the quiet Sunday mornings, the laughter in our tiny kitchen. All of it felt like a lie. When I saw him in my driveway that night, I didn't even flinch. He was younger, cocky, smug, like he'd just won some kind of prize. And she was there, bag slung over her shoulder, trying to smile as if this wasn't the destruction of a life we'd built together. "Are you going to stop us?" he asked, almost mockingly. I nodded, not because I agreed, not because I was powerless, but because I realized I didn't need to fight. The fight had been over the moment trust shattered. That night was hell. I walked around the house, touching things she had touched, the faint scent of her perfume in the hallway, the half-empty coffee mug on the counter. I remember the first time I kissed her here, the way she had smiled at me without knowing I was watching, how we had whispered secrets we thought no one else would hear. Now, all of that memory was poison. I didn't sleep. I barely ate. I thought about calling her, confronting her, screaming at her. But when I imagined it, all I saw was a girl I no longer recognized, holding hand with someone else, laughing at the life she had stolen. And I knew my dignity mattered more than my anger. The next morning, I woke up early, the way I always did, and decided to face it quietly. I went to the driveway. The car she had packed was gone, but something remained, a small envelope tucked under the wiper of my car. I opened it with trembling fingers. Inside was a note, handwritten not by her. "Don't wait. She made her choice. Life is cruel sometimes. He'll regret it." It hit me like a revelation. They had thought they were clever, leaving me behind in a haze of pain. But what they didn't know was that in my quiet, in my refusal to chase or beg, I had already started to win. Hours later, news reached me. Not from her, not from him, but from a friend who had seen the car in a ditch on the outskirts of town. He had been speeding, too eager, too sure. The car had spun off the road. No one died, but he walked away with a shattered leg, a humiliating hospital stay, and the realization that his victory was hollow. My anger didn't disappear, but it softened into a grim, quiet satisfaction. Life had a way of balancing itself. And sometimes the universe delivers justice in ways we don't plan. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I just sat on the porch that evening, breathing in the cold air, thinking about what I wanted my life to be. Alone, yes, but free. Stronger, yes, but open to love again, someday, with someone who would never see betrayal as an option. Memories of her still sting. Sometimes a song, a scent, a street we used to walk down. Little triggers that remind me I love someone who chose another path. But they no longer chain me. The lesson is harsh, but clear. Trust wisely, protect yourself, and never let someone else's choices define your worth. So here I am, months later, still healing, still standing. The man who tried to humiliate me is learning the hard way that some victories are illusions. And me? I've learned that betrayal, as painful as it is, can be a catalyst, not a prison. If you've ever been through something like this, share your story in the comments. I want to hear how you survived, how you healed, how you found yourself again. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, because there are more stories coming, raw, real, and sometimes heartbreakingly true.